रस विवेक जब देई विधाता, तब तजी दोष गुण ही मनुराता। काल सुभावु करम बरियाई, भले प्रकृति बस चुकई भलाई। सो सुधारी हरिजन जिमिलेहि, दली दुख दोष विमल जसु देहि। खलउ करहि भल पाई सुसंगो, मिटई न मलिन सुभावु अभंगो। लखी सुबेश जग बंचक जेऊ, बेश प्रताप पूजियहि तेऊ। उघरहि अंत न होई निबाहु, काल नेमि जिमि रावण राहु। किएहु कुबेशु साधु सनमानु, जिमि जग जामवंत हनुमानु। हानि कुसंग सुसंगति लाहु, लोकहु बेद विदित सब काहू। गगन चढ़ई रज पवन प्रसंगा, कीचहि मिलई नीच जल संगा। साधु असाधु सदन सुख सारी, सुमिरहि राम देहि गनिगारी। धूम कुसंगति कारिख होई, लिखिय पुराण मंजुमसि सोई। सोई जल अनल अनिल संघाता, होई जलद जग जीवन दाता। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। ग्रह भेषज जल पवन पट, पाई कुजोग सुजोग। होहि कुबस्तु सुबस्तु जग, लखहि सुलक्षण लोग। सम प्रकाश तम पाख दुहु, नाम भेद विधि कीन्ह। ससि शोषक पोषक समुझि, जग जस अपजस दीन्ह। जड़ चेतन जग जीव जत, सकल राम में जानी। बंदउ सबके पद कमल, सदा जोरी जुग पानी। देव दनुज नर नाग खग, प्रेत पितर गंधर्व। बंदउ किन्नर रजनिचर, कृपा करहु अब सर्व। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय। When Providence blesses one with such discrimination as is possessed by the swan, then alone does the mind abandon evil and gets enamored of goodness. By force of the spirit of the times, old habits and past karmas, even the good deviate from goodness under the influence of Maya. But just as servants of Sri Hari rectify that error and eradicating sorrow and weakness, bring untarnished glory to them. Even so, the wicked occasionally perform a noble deed due to their good association, although their evil nature, which is unchangeable, cannot be obliterated. Even those who are impostors are respected on account of their garb, as the world is taken in by their attractive appearance. But they are eventually exposed and cannot keep up their false appearance till the end, as was the case with Karnemi, Ravan, and Rahu. The good are honored notwithstanding their mean appearance, even as Jamvan, a general of Sugriv's army, who was endowed with the form of a bear and possessed miraculous strength, and Hanuman, the form of a monkey, won honor in this world. Bad association is harmful, while good company is an asset in itself. This is true in the world as well as in the eyes of the Vedas, and is known to all. Through contact with the wind, dust ascends to the sky, while it is assimilated with mud when united with low lying waters. Parrots and maynas, nurtured in the house of the virtuous and the wicked, repeat the name of Ram and pour a volley of abuses respectively. Smoke coming in contact with an evil earthy substance turns into soot. The same is used as a material for copying the Puranas when converted into beautiful ink. Again, in conjunction with water, fire, and air, it is transformed into a cloud and brings life to the world. The planets, medicines, water, air, and cloth prove good or bad in the world according to their good or evil associations. Only men endowed with a keen insight are able to know this. The proportion of moonlight and darkness is the same in the bright as well as in the dark fortnight. Only the two have been named differently by the Creator. Knowing the one as the nourisher and the other as the emaciator of the moon, the world has given it a good name and a bad one. Whatever beings, animate or inanimate, they are in the universe, recognizing them, one and all, as consisting of Sri Ram, I ever adore the lotus feet of all with joined palms. I reverence gods, demons, human beings, nagas, birds, spirits, mains, the souls of departed ancestors and Gandharvas, Kinnaras and Rakshasas. Pray be gracious to me all on this occasion.
In the previous verse, Tulsidashi has said that the Creator has created this world as a mixture of good and evil. And one has to be like a swan in order to assimilate the good and to reject the bad. The swan is a bird according to Hindu legend. It has a very fine sense of discrimination, of discernment. It is said that if you mix milk and water and put it before the swan, it will be able to separate the milk from the water, drink the milk and leave the water. By this Tulsidashi means that it is not always easy to make out what is good and what is bad in this world. And if one does not know what is good and what is bad, then how will we be able to exercise our choices and make the right choices? Good must be recognized as good in order that we may follow its example. And bad must be recognized as bad in order that we may keep away from it. Therefore, in order to separate good from bad, right from wrong, we must have a keen sense of discrimination. And having discerned what is good and what is bad through this keen sense of discrimination, we must be strong enough to embrace the good and to reject the bad. We find that those people who exercise the discrimination and choose the path of goodness, they are praised and applauded in the world. People look up to them and follow them. But those who embrace bad qualities, evil tendencies, and do wrong things, they are held in contempt, and people will not want to associate with such people. But then, even the good men sometimes do something bad, and the bad men sometimes do something good. That being so, then how would we know who is a good man and who is a bad man? Well, a good man is one who generally does good, but may sometimes do bad. And a bad man is one who generally does bad, but may sometimes do something good. Then we can ask ourselves, why does a good man do something bad? Tulsidashi says, that is because of the force and effect of Maya, the delusionary powers of God. One gets deluded and then does something bad. But then he rectifies, corrects himself when he realizes he made a mistake. And he corrects himself. And in that way, he once more goes towards God and towards goodness. The bad person, even though he may do something good sometimes, but then that little bit of good that he does is not able to influence his life in general. He reverts to his bad actions, to the impulse of his very nature. And this nature, it comes as a result of one's circumstances in life and one's past actions, which bears fruit in this life and in our future actions. But even though the bad man who does sometimes good, and he, by doing this good, he is able to deceive the world into thinking that he's a good person. But being inherently bad by nature, he is not able to conceal his bad qualities for long. They eventually come out. Tulsidas takes the example of Kal, Nemi, Ravan and Rahu. These are demons who often gave the appearance of being respectable, worthy, and great. Inherently evil, they give themselves away. they're not able to fool everybody for very long. But sometimes the good appears to be bad. But being good, eventually the goodness comes out, shines out, and people be able to recognize the good as such, even though they appear not to be good. The examples are given of Jamban and Hanumanji. Jamban appeared as a bear, and Hanumanji as a monkey. But they had some sterling good qualities in them. And because of those good qualities, people recognized them to be good, and people adored and followed them and worshipped them. One becomes good or bad by association also. Therefore, the company one keeps is very important, because the company is able to influence you thinking and your actions. Sometimes to a radical degree. And there Tulsidas gives some very beautiful examples. He says, smoke, when it goes in association with the wind, it rises up. It goes up into the sky. But the same smoke, when it mixes with water, it becomes mud. And who likes mud? He also gives an instance of the parrot. A parrot that is in a house of a saintly person, and because it is always exposed to the mantras and the prayers and the good words of a good man, it begins to pick up the good from that man. It will say Ram Ram, because the house in which the parrot is, that person is always saying Ram Ram. So it learns to say Ram Ram. But the parrot, when it is in the house of a bad man, and he hears swearing all the time, eventually that parrot too begins to swear. So the association we keep is very important. And Tulsidas then says that even though there is good in a bad person and bad in a good person, and even if this mixture of good and bad is equal, if there is an equal amount of good and bad in a person, but he is moving away from the bad towards the good, then again he is revered and adored in the world, because he is making the movement in the right direction. But another man, even though there is the equal quality of good and bad in him, but he is moving away from the good towards the bad, and is giving an inclination of going more towards negativity than positivity, then he is shunned in the world. He is taken to be bad man. And here again, Tulsidas uses a very beautiful analogy. Moon in 1 month is dark for half the time and bright the other half. Then when the moon is fully dark, and slowly by stages it gets brighter, we call that the Shukla Paksh, or the bright fortnight of the moon. Because from fully dark it is moving to fully bright. The same moon, when it is fully bright and it is moving towards darkness, and it goes from fully bright to fully dark, from full moon to new moon, then it is called a Krishna Paksh, dark fortnight. Even though the quantity of brightness and darkness is the same in the bright fortnight and in a dark fortnight. The degree of darkness and light is the same in both fortnights. But because one is moving from darkness to brightness, it is appreciated and it is hailed. But the one that is moving from brightness to darkness, then it is considered inauspicious. Krishna Paksh. Therefore, the way we orient ourselves in the world, the way we move in this world, the direction we take in this world is very important, and it determines what is the outcome for us in life. Finally, Tulsidashi says that even though the good is hailed in the world and evil is condemned, but these are all relative. From the absolute point of view, one has to go beyond good and evil, because, as has been mentioned by him earlier, there is good in evil and there is evil in good. And if we allow the way we judge good and evil in the world to limit our thinking, then we'll be caught in a dilemma. But from the absolute point of view, the spirit or the Atma of the good man and the bad man is the same. It is pure and holy. This Atma is not affected by the good or the bad that one does in the world. And this Atma is a part of Paramatma, because God pervades everything in this universe, the good and the bad. And from the supreme spiritual point of view, Tulsidashi says that he beholds the whole universe, whether it be good or bad, the whole universe as consisting of the Lord Almighty. Siya Ramame Sabajagajani. And having had this vision of the whole universe as consisting of God, Tulsidashi says that I pay obeisance to it. Karaho Pranama Jori Jugabani. Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.